Greetings my dears in love and light. I'm Nikki Sutton and this is my 7 ways to gain more confidence. Ways that I have used to gain more confidence where I essentially had none. If we lack confidence, it may be that we fear that we are incapable in some way, or that we don't measure up, or that we're a bit inferior. Now we need to ask ourselves why we feel this way. Because oftentimes we find that we lack confidence, let's say in social situations, in projects we're doing at work, or in parenting, or how we look physically. We may feel like we lack confidence in various areas of our life. We may be very confident in one area of our life, but really suffer with confidence issues in another area. But we may resist this about ourselves and fight against this feeling, trying to make ourselves feel better, to move forward, maybe push ourselves into situations. But we need to ask ourselves why we feel that way, because it's something that can be healed. We can all have lots of confidence, but our past experiences may have caused us to lack confidence. So we can try and find the source of our lack of confidence. So I'll just run through some ways real quick, some reasons why we might lack confidence. Number 1 is that we may have had experiences that prove to us that we are incapable in some way. So let's say we failed at a job interview, we felt a bit humiliated. That might cause us to be very fearful and lack confidence in interviews, plus at work and getting any job. We may have at school felt like we weren't so good at sport, so that may cause us today to lack confidence with any kind of physical activity. Going to the gym, we might not want to go. So had experience that proved to us we're incapable. Or number 2, lacked experiences to build our confidence. So let's say when you were younger, we don't blame our parents, but if our parents weren't too nurturing and didn't say well done and validate us when we were doing something good, we never knew when we were doing anything good, so we didn't have the tools to build confidence. We weren't validated for our positive behaviours, so we don't feel we have any or are capable of any. So lacked experiences to build confidence. Number 3, someone may have dented our confidence, so we may have had an abusive parent, abusive sibling, we may have been bullied at school, our boss at work may have been very degrading to us, or a spiteful workmate, so someone being unkind to us, just denting our confidence by making us feel that big, that would cause us to lack confidence. Another way that we can lack confidence is through comparison. So for example, in media, you need to be a certain way, look a certain way, wear certain clothes, and in society in general, achieve certain things. If we feel like we don't measure up or have not achieved certain things by a certain age, we feel like we're inferior, we feel shameful, and it causes us to lack confidence. So those are ways which may have caused us to lack confidence and cause fear in us. So we need to identify where these fears came from that cause us to view ourselves in a negative way, that we're inferior, or we don't measure up, or we don't have abilities, or what have you. So my 7 ways, at long last, to gain more confidence are: number 1, to focus on the things you're good at. So we all have things we're good at and things we're not so good at, but we are all wonderful, infinite beings, right? But if we focus on the things we're good at and specialise in those, it can cause us to gain confidence overall. So let's say I'm not so good at public speaking. I don't feel too confident about that, and there's reasons from my past about that. So I focus on helping people through videos and one-to-one sessions and courses now and that. So I don't focus on the areas where I feel I'm not so good at, and I focus on the areas I am, and in turn it has improved my confidence so much. Now, I'm not saying that you should avoid those things that you lack confidence in. I'll get onto that in a minute. But focus on the things you're good at. Follow your heart and your intuition, and do more of those things which validate you as a person, validate your sense of self-worth and what you are good at, and that will build your confidence. Try not to over-focus on those things which are denting your confidence. Okay. Number 2 on my 7 ways to gain more confidence is to push your boundaries sometimes. So I might choose to occasionally do a public speaking event or speak in front of a group, even though I'm never keen on it, because I know that if I push my boundaries, I will see that it's okay, and through conscious work and experience, my subconscious realizes it's nothing to be scared of. So try to push your boundaries sometimes. So let's say you're lacking confidence, you're trying to create a product and put it out there for sale, but you feel like it's not going to be good enough or it's just going to fail. So push your boundaries a little bit. Try and push past that fear. Put it out there for sale. Let's say you're fearful of marketing your product because you feel like, no one will want it and just feel like a ninny doing it. Just push those boundaries and give it a go. Accept that sometimes things won't work out, but push your boundaries, and more often than not you'll find that actually you'll surprise yourself, because your expectations are pretty low anyway, that you'll surprise yourself, and bit by bit you'll see that it was okay. Number 3 on my 7 ways to gain more confidence is to realize it's natural to have a level of fear, anticipation or anxiety. Now, we are human in this lifetime, so it's transcending this human self. Although we're happy to be human, it's an experience in this lifetime, but transcending those more physical aspects of the human self which cause us to have the fear. So it is normal. We all do have a certain level of fear when we are pushing our boundaries. So it's to accept that there is some level of fear there, and that we don't all feel confident all the time. And by having that acceptance, you're not resisting that aspect of self and hating on yourself for not feeling raring to go when you've got to do something that pushes your boundaries. And know that it's okay. Tell yourself it's okay to feel that way. You love and accept yourself even though you're lacking confidence. Accept it. Come from a place of yes instead of coming from a place of no, and then you can move forward. Number 4 on my 7 ways to build more confidence is to realize that conscious people can be self-analytical and humble sometimes. Being conscious and aware, it's a sign of intelligence that we're self-analytical and we look at ourselves and see how we're doing. If we just go at things, without a care in the world, it's not always as conscious. It's good to be a free spirit, but it's not always as conscious as if you're a little bit self-analytical and check yourself sometimes. So again, letting yourself off the hook. That people who are conscious and aware of themselves do check themselves sometimes and analyse. And that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're necessarily lacking an excessive amount of confidence. It just means you're conscious of yourself. Number 5 on my 7 ways to build more confidence is to accept and release resistance to feeling unconfident. Now, I did touch on this. By releasing that resistance to feeling unconfident is half the job done. So you may feel unconfident about doing something. Let's say I'm trying to dress up for a wedding and I'm feeling like I'm a bit frumpy or something and I'm hating on myself. So as well as that, I'm also conscious of the fact that I don't feel very confident about myself, and that's more negative energy, and I'm resisting the fact that I don't feel very confident. It's accepting how you feel. I accept I don't feel very confident. I accept that that's okay. I'm not going to resist that feeling. I'm going to be present in it and show love to that feeling and work with it and heal it. Resisting that feeling of being unconfident is burying it. It's repressing it. We can talk ourselves through things. If you're feeling unconfident, that's a sign from the subconscious mind that healing is required. There was something missing in your past or something that happened in your past that caused a lack of confidence. So the conscious mind can have a dialogue with the subconscious mind to reassure it. So let's say I look in the mirror and I'm feeling unconfident about the way I look and I'm going to this wedding. I can ask myself, how are you feeling? and then wait for that response. There'll be a mental response. Oh, I'm feeling like a frumpy so-and-so. I don't feel like going. Talk to yourself. You know what? You look beautiful. That's a lovely dress. This is you looking beautiful. Okay, and then let the subconscious mind reply to you. Oh, but that's not true. Yes, it is true. You're an infinite being and this is you looking beautiful. So I urge you to talk to yourself. Doesn't mean you're crazy. What is crazy anyway? Talk to yourself. Let your conscious mind have a dialogue with the subconscious and guide yourself through, comfort yourself through, because your subconscious mind, which is feeling unconfident, needs healing and nurturing. Number 6 on my 7 ways to feel more confident is to trace the lack of confidence back to its source. So at the beginning of this video, I listed some causes for feeling unconfident, and it usually results from things that have happened in our past or things that we have lacked. So, for example, if you lacked reassurance, or if someone has knocked your confidence, go back and work it through. So you can do a visualization. This is what I often recommend. So during meditation or just lying down feeling relaxed, get yourself really relaxed and go into a memory which you recall where your confidence was either not being nurtured or it was being dented. You can freeze frame that memory and have understanding for what's going on and then comfort yourself of the past. Look through the eyes of yourself of today in that scene, looking at yourself of the past, and tell them that's not true what they're saying. You are wonderful. Give me a hug. I love you. Or let's say as a child you are not receiving something. Let's say you drew a beautiful picture, showed your parents and they didn't pay any attention. So that's not going to help your confidence. Be there with your younger self. Say, that picture is amazing. You did an amazing job. I love you. Give me a hug. And build that confidence yourself. Yourself of today, building the confidence with the younger you. Your subconscious mind then accepts this alteration in the memory because it's a new perception. And then it changes you today. It radiates through time, through your subconscious mind and changes it today. So number 6 is tracing the lack of confidence back to its source. Go back in a relaxed state, enter the memory and reassure your younger self and tell them it's okay and why. And it will change things and the conclusions you drew back then. And number 7 on my 7 ways to gain more confidence is to reply to negative self-talk. Sometimes we have negative self-talk. It's that inner critic that says, nah, you can't do that, you'll fail, or you're not good enough, or you don't measure up, or don't do that, it'll be terrible. So we need to reply to that negative self-talk. So as I said about talking in the mirror and have a dialogue with your subconscious mind to reassure your subconscious mind, in this instance, we're replying to the negative self-talk to tell that voice how it's not true, what it's saying. So if my inner critic said to me, you're rubbish, you're going to fail, I will say, again I'm talking to myself, I will say, that's not true. I'm trying my best. I'm going to give this a go. If your inner critic says to you something like, you're too old to do that, or you're too young to do that, you reply to that voice and say, no, it's fine. I'm willing and able. I'm going to give it a try. Whatever it is that negative self-talk says, you can reply to it and tell it why. Thank you, but that's incorrect. This is the way it is. And then moving forward, you can use affirmations. So you can say to yourself 3 times a day, 10 times each, I am good at this, or I am, it's usually the I am, or I have. You can even say to yourself, I have confidence, or I am good at this, I am attractive, I am intelligent, I have a good memory. So you keep saying to yourself 3 times a day, 10 times each, that affirmation that you're aiming to change some belief residing in your subconscious. I have a video on affirmations and what they're good for. Okay, so I hope you found this helpful today on my 7 ways to gain more confidence. Once upon a time I had practically no confidence, and through using these ways I've gained a lot more. Now, I'm not saying that I've got an abundance of confidence or anything like that, but I'm definitely at a point where I'm happy. So, leave me and others a comment too about what you think about this and ways that you've used to gain more confidence. Now, just quick, if you'd like to support this channel and receive bonus videos every week, please consider becoming a Patreon supporter at the address right here. Also, I'm really excited to bring you my new Inner Work for Ascension Becoming Your True Self course, and that can be found at nikkisutton.com, and I urge you to check it out. Thank you so much. This all supports this channel. And remember to click subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and that bell button too for notifications, to receive regular spiritual inspiration on your journey through life, because we're raising the mass vibration together. So go now in love and peace.